Right, let's get straight to it. Chancing your arm with rubbish on our footpaths is about to hit your wallet very hard.
250 quid. That is the steep new price tag kicking in from the start of September. Whether you're casually dropping a wrapper after lunch or turning a blind eye when the dog leaves a mess on the path, slipping up is going to cost ordinary working families a flat €250 in a strict, on-the-spot fine. And honestly, when you think about the cost of living in Ireland right now, getting slapped with a €250 penalty for dog fouling is a massive blow to the weekly budget. It's designed to hurt, and there's going to be no excuses and absolutely no warnings.
Now, the sheer suddenness of this jump is what's really interesting here. We're moving from the old on-the-spot fine of €150 straight up to €250. That's an immediate €100 hike. Minister of State for the Circular Economy, Alan Dillon, is bringing this in for one very clear reason: to seriously crack down on the persistent rule breakers who are ruining our local amenities. It's a very clear message from the government. If you mess with the streets, the parks, and the footpaths that everyday taxpayers rely on, well, you're going to pay a much heavier price for it.
But sure, we all know a fine is only as good as the threat of actually getting caught, and that brings us to a crucial figure, €3 million. Alongside these tougher financial penalties, the minister is rolling out a massive €3 million investment to local councils up and down the country. So this isn't just tough talk from the dial. This is the financial muscle meant to back up those harsher penalties and actually catch the people making a total mess of our towns and villages.
So what exactly are our local authorities buying with that £3 million? Well, it's funding over 200 local anti-dumping projects this year alone. Crucially, they're rolling out CCTV monitoring to catch illegal dumpers right in the act. They're heavily supporting local cleanup operations and pushing public awareness campaigns. The whole shebang is geared towards protecting the green spaces that Irish families and responsible dog owners actually cherish. It's about taking that unfair burden off the backs of local tidy town volunteers and putting the pressure squarely back on the culprits.
And we really do need to grasp the sheer scale of the problem to understand why these strict measures are even coming in. 26,000 tonnes. Since 2017, an absolutely staggering 26,000 tonnes of waste has had to be physically removed nationwide just because of illegal dumping. I mean, think about the massive financial burden that puts on local councils and, by extension, the working families of Ireland who fund them through their taxes. We are talking about literal mountains of rubbish being dumped in our bogs, our boreens, and our town centres that somebody else has to pay to clean up.
But here is where we hit a massive stumbling block, and it perfectly illustrates the core divide we need to look at today, the enforcement divide. On one side, we have the national government passing down these tough new rules, hyping up the bigger fines and the shiny new CCTV funding. But on the exact opposite side, we have the incredibly frustrating reality of actual enforcement by local councils on the ground. Because, let's be real, having a strict law on the books is one thing, but if there is nobody out there writing the ticket, does the law actually matter to the people out walking their dogs?
Just look at the 2024 data from Vision Ireland regarding dog fouling fines, because it is frankly shocking. Across the entire country for the whole year, a mere 48 fines were issued for dog fouling. 48! In a country of over 5 million people, with dogs in nearly every neighbourhood and housing estate. It's almost unbelievable, especially when you think about how often you have to dodge a mess on the footpath during the morning school run. The divide between the expectation of the law and the reality of the enforcement is just staggering.
And when we break it down by council, the absolute absurdity of this local enforcement gap really shines through. Cork County Council issued the most, managing 11 fines, so fair play to them for trying to tackle the issue. Most other councils issued just 1 or 2 for the entire 12 months, but the real kicker? 14 local authorities, which is almost half the councils in the country, didn't manage to issue a single solitary fine for dog fouling in 2024. 0. You really have to ask yourself, are there simply no dogs making a mess in those 14 counties, or is there just absolutely nobody policing the streets?
So that leaves us with one final, pretty massive question. Higher fines are coming, but who is actually going to hand them out? A €250 fine sounds brilliant on a government press release, and it certainly sounds like it should deter the people blighting our communities. But if half the country's local authorities are currently handing out 0 fines, is hiking the price tag going to make a blind bit of difference? Will this new €3 million investment finally put the necessary boots on the ground to protect the local areas that Irish families rely on, or is it just more grand talk? It's definitely something you should be keeping a very close eye on in your own local area this September.